Welcome. Today is Monday, June 17th. Watch out for high wires. History's been made in Canada, St. Louis, men's restrooms everywhere, and right here in this basement. Let's go.
3, 2, 1.
This is the Matt and Muse Show with Matt Hensler and Adam Musinski.
The Eagle has landed.
Guess who's back? Back again. Matt is back. Tell a friend. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? It is Matt. You're back from the dead, man. How the hell are you?
I am still fighting off this whatever I got going on.
Yeah, if you were listening to us on Facebook before we hit the record button, you would notice we were both out here hacking up a lung. Here he goes again.
Don't make me laugh because when I laugh, it comes back.
You just got to keep drinking, man. Stay moist.
So I asked my wife if, ever since I came down with this, if I sound really sexy with this deep voice. She says, no, you sound terrible. So I don't even have that going for me.
I know someone who would think you sounded sexy. I'll tell you off air.
Ooh, good.
So
I was late today.
Yeah, Matt, in his triumphant return to Studio 220, decided to show up 8 minutes before the show went live. So started off at a great foot there.
I missed. Let's see. I was away for a week where you were alone in your basement, and we did my share remotely. I think it went fairly well, actually, for being on a headset. And then the following week, I missed because is that Memorial Day? No,
yeah.
Memorial Day, and then I missed.
We took Memorial Day off.
Yeah,
and then you missed.
And then last week,
yeah.
I had full intentions of calling in, and I had a softball tournament. And Friday night before my softball tournament, I came down with whatever my daughter had for the last week and a half, and my voice was like, hello, this is all I got. I can talk like this, and that's about it. I called Adam on the phone. He goes, hey, man, what's up? And I said, hey, I don't think I should call in tonight. He goes, man, you sound like crap. I'm like, thanks, I feel like it. So tonight.
And then I said, you look worse than you feel, though.
He didn't even see me. It wasn't like a video call. He just knew I looked terrible, which is very depressing. So tonight I was super pumped. I was like, all right, man, it's been 3 weeks since I've been in the studio, and I'm excited to go back. And I realized, so I went home. I went home and I made supper for Shayna and I made steaks on the grill with some grilled asparagus. And I took a pan. I made some beer braised mushrooms and onions to go on top of the steak. It was phenomenal, delicious supper. And I realized that I am now at that age where if I eat too much food, I have to take a nap. So I fell asleep as I was setting my alarm to wake up at 7:45. The alarm never got set, and I was on the couch and I popped up and I looked around because I was just delirious as to where I was. And I looked over at Shayna. She goes, "What's wrong?" I said, "I had to go like 25 minutes ago." She goes, "Oh my gosh, I was so busy I didn't even think about waking you up." I'm like, "Yeah, I had an alarm I was gonna set, but I didn't. I didn't set the alarm. I'm just taking a nap after supper like an old person." So yeah, that's why I was late. I've hit that point in my life where I can't eat a certain amount of food. I haven't figured out what it is yet without sleeping, and I apologize.
Did my text wake you up?
No, I woke up like literally 30 seconds before that, so I must have at ESPN or something.
Right.
And so to go off this whole thing and me being missing for 2 weeks, and then I apparently don't know my own sleep schedule, I got to say, you proved it again that without me, the show would still go on.
We had a great show last week, man.
It's a phenomenal show. It was a very good show. It was awesome with Riffle on here. And
it was probably the most fun I've had on the show in a while.
Oh, son of a gun, man. I know. He's good. He's a good
It
dude.
was good. It was funny. He enjoyed himself. So
I ran into him on Saturday, and he was very happy to have been on the show. Oh, and the real wrinkle in things right now, I can't stand up straight right now because I have the back of a 95-year-old man. Getting old sucks.
maybe you should stop playing softball.
No, that's not it at all. It's the sitting down for way too long that messes me up.
Well, stop sitting.
Well, it'd be really weird if I was standing and you were sitting.
I mean, we can both stand. If you'd rather stand and do this, I mean, that's completely possible.
You having those like anti-fatigue mats?
No,
No. Well, I would need that, I think.
this is my basement.
Nicer than my basement.
Yeah. We could go stand on the carpet. It's padded.
Ooh,
Only thing under this is concrete.
nicer than my basement.
Question of the podcast. Ocean or lake? We put this out a little late because we forgot. I forgot. Matt doesn't do it. So,
I've done it. I just don't know how to do it the right way.
anyways, question of the podcast. Ocean or lake? Let us know what you think if you're watching live on Facebook. We'll get to those results later in the show. It's swinging in a direction I kind of expected, but not totally. And I'll dive into that a little more later. So, you've been gone for a while, so let's see if you do anything wrong.
When you set me up for it, it helps me not do something
That's what I'm trying. We have a great beer here from Highwire Brewing out of North Carolina. A friend of the show that actually brought us the Sweetwater IPA, Jay Anderson, also brought us this from out of town. I had texted him before he went down there and asked for a beer they have called the Gimme the Brute. It's a sparkling brute double IPA. I thought it sounded interesting, and I loved the name Gimme the Brute. However, he could not find it because it's a specialty release. But he did find Maneater, which is a double IPA, 8.3%, 88 IBUs. So we're going to crack it open and give it a try.
I'm excited. So Adam told me earlier about the beer that we were going to have this evening. And that's good. We should just record one of us opening a beer.
Instead of using the free sound I found on that.
That sound was really nice.
This smells very citrusy.
So that's the thing right now. I don't have a whole lot of smell going on.
You get a lot of citrus spice.
Citrus spice.
It's
It's like when you put habanero on your oranges. Oh, I can smell that though. That smells like
citrus
fresh
spice.
hops.
Ooh, that beer's fantastic.
Holy smokes, man! Thanks, Jay.
This is really good. This is not like in your face hoppy or anything. This is like perfectly balanced.
This beer. I mean, when the aroma on it is, hey, here's 1,000,000 pounds of hops, and it does not taste that way whatsoever. That 8% really hides in there. That is incredible. I love the labels.
Mm-hmm.
I have terrible OCD, and this doesn't bother me that it's all lowercase because it looks nice.
Well, yeah, that's the idea. The can is all lowercase.
Oh,
so it says Maneater.
the label on the can
No one
is all
can
lowercase.
see what you're doing.
I can see what I'm doing.
Well, yeah.
Barely,
That's all you
but
care
I-
about, though. So
And I love how when you get out of state, you have to put the label on it that says contains alcohol. That's one thing Michigan's got going for it that most other states don't, is when it's got an alcohol volume on it, you don't have to put contains alcohol on the label. This beer's killer.
it's really good.
This is, yeah.
Their website's pretty sweet. They have, I mean, obviously all their beers on there. It's very informative and whatnot. But this was just brewed in May, so this is still pretty fresh, even middle of June. But it says availability in May. That's why I couldn't find a date on it. But
Still a very fresh beer.
yeah, so I don't know. It's good for those ever out down North Carolina. Go check out Highwire Brewing. They got a lot of locations. They actually have one in Knoxville, Tennessee as well. So go check them out. This beer is fantastic. If you have anyone going down there, tell them to pick you up a 4-pack or a 6-pack or anything like that. They're a can brewery. They like cans. They do still some bottles, and they actually have a single barrel series in the specialty series. They do a lot of like Bread of Ices beers and sours and barrel-aged stouts and things like that. So really cool, really interesting. I'm definitely going to keep my eyes on these guys and try and get another one soon.
So I know this is what we weren't going to talk about, but you brought it up. So they're a can brewery.
Mm-hmm.
What's your whole thought on cans? Cans versus bottles.
I thought we did this.
We did, but I mean it's a good refresher. I mean, here's a brand new brewery we've never had before, and they go straight cans.
I'm all for them. I prefer the can and then pouring it out of the can and into another vessel. I'm in the belief that that's the way beer is brewed and shipped. Keg beer, you don't drink straight from the keg. You pour it into a glass and then drink it. So I think that's the same with the aluminum can because it's basically aluminum keg. You just don't
it's basically a mini keg.
Yeah,
is what it is.
Exactly. It keeps the beer fresher. You don't have the light hitting it and stuff like that. It portable. It's good if you do drink it out of the can, which don't get me wrong, I still do drink beer out of the can. You know, I'm a complete nerd like that, but you have the availability to take it boating, camping, fishing, golfing, which are all things that I do. So
I can take beer for all of my activities.
Exactly, which is a great thing. However, I will always get down on a long neck of Corona and lime, and I cannot drink Corona out of the can. It does not taste the same.
When I was in Vegas, I ordered a 24-ounce Corona. It was like $14 because it was considered an import. No, looking back, it should have been like a $2 can of Corona. Anyway, so Vegas is crazy. They're like, you want a lime with it? And I couldn't picture in my head how they were going to put a lime in it. I was like, yeah, sure. So they took a lime, like squeezed lime juice around the rim of the can, and then just jabbed it in the hole of the can. I'm like, all right, cool, thanks. So the first 10 drinks of my beer was just sour lime juice.
Yeah. You done coughing?
Please excuse my cough, everybody. I am.
One thing we still need is a cough button. One thing we still need. And
if I laugh too much, I cough. If I smile,
keep drinking, man. Keep your throat moist, man. Ready.
Throat.
Lube it up.
Probably like tuberculosis or something.
Probably. What is your take on cans?
So despite where I work, which is a company that solely revolves around cans, even before then I was a huge proponent of cans. And I've always told myself, if I ever own a bar, every beer I would bring in would be either in a draft form or a can or some sort of aluminum package. For the sole reason that, like you said, no light gets to it, no oxygen gets to it. It's essentially a miniature keg. I mean, it's the best thing for the beer. And it's where I run into debates with people is there's certain beers out there that people like to save. And you got your Backwoods Bastard. You love Backwoods.
Yeah.
So you will keep one from every year. Even though it's year round now,
yeah.
I'm sure you'll still keep a fresh one every single year. And it comes in a bottle, which I get that. So the issue I run into is there's beers out there like Oscar Blues Barrel Aged 1050. Fantastic beer. Comes in 19.2 ounce can. Mm-hmm. And people want to hold that for a long period of time. However, aluminum cans aren't necessarily the best vessel to hold a beer in for a long period of time. But on the flip side, we talked about this before too, is the brewer's not brewing that beer for you to hold on to it for a decade. They want you to drink it. They're making that beer that way because they want it drank within a year, maybe two. And that's where I run into debates with people like, oh, aluminum sterile for aging. And I get it. And I totally get it. But
because it is.
It is. But you're getting the beer for a much more affordable price. It's, at the time, better for the beer. And the bottles suck, generally. I mean, a beer's going to stay fresher for a longer period of time in the short term. Mm-hmm. But it's going to stay, I guess, not less fresh, but it's going to be more stale in the long term if you hold on to it for too long. So I don't know what that threshold is. It'd be interesting to kind of figure that out. But no, I'm a huge fan of cans, man. When I own that bar one day, I'm going to call it Cantopia. No, I won't.
That's actually a pretty sweet name.
Okay.
If you like, even
trademark.
If you went straight can, no, not even draft, just Cantopia.
So there's a bar that started in Lansing.
Have draft, but do crowlers instead of growlers.
Totally. So there's a bar that started in Lansing. There's one in Grand Rapids now too. I think there's 4 or 5 locations across the state. It's called the Tin Can, and it's like you walk in, it looks like a dive bar. They get cork dark boards. It's just a bar where you walk up the bar after you drink. They have draft and cans. That's it. No bottles. And I love that concept 100%. And I obviously can't use that name, but I love it. So they've been able to expand, and it's got this whole dive bar mentality, which is super crazy because it's just nope, can beer. We got PBR, we got Miller High Life, we got craft beer. Everything we have is in a can. So you're missing out in some breweries because all they do is bottle. But at the same time, like, yeah, here's a can. There you go. And I'll move on to the next guy. Here you go. We don't have to worry about Papa Toss. We don't have to worry about glass bottles. Oh, you're done with it? We'll just smash it because it's 10 cents. If we can't use that 10 cents, whatever. Oh, you threw a can on the floor, you broke it. Oh, well, it's 10 cents. We don't have to sweep it up. It's not glass. So it's a brilliant mindset. I absolutely love it because it's so easy to work with. But, I'm a huge fan of cans.
So what then is your take? Because this is a brewery that has a couple beers with some funky names. Man Eater, Give Me the Brute. We've talked about like Backwood Bastards. There's some interesting names out there. Slasm, things like that. Slasm smells like a safety meeting. No one picked that one up. What is your take on names? Like, how important is it to the liquid? You're obviously on the brewery side now. How much? I mean, a lot of time goes into it, but how? I know they take it seriously, but how much of a headache is it to name a beer?
So that's a funny question because we are in this society right now where there's so many breweries across the U.S. that they come up with a beer and they come up with this fantastic name and don't realize that there's a brewery in Texas or Vermont or California that's got a beer with that same exact name. Mm-hmm. And so every single brewery is trying to be as creative as absolutely possible. So
I just saw that. I can't remember what the breweries were, but it was Wheeze in the Juice, and someone had a Wheeze the Juice.
Yep. So it's these breweries are like, no, I'm gonna take you to court because that's way too close to mine, and all this other type of stuff. And it's kind of funny actually because all these breweries, they're in the same boat together. They're trying to make beer, trying to make money, they're trying to make a name for themselves. And then when that brewery comes up with a name for a beer that's too close to another brewery's name, or it's sometimes the same as another brewery's name, they get upset. Understandable. But you got to think, like, some of these breweries, one may be just in one state, and they come up with this name, and it's not leaving that state. Well, as soon as they leave that state, they have to come up with something else, and maybe a legal term like Dark Horse smells like a safety meeting used to be smells like weed.
Yep.
And as soon as they distribute to, I think, Indiana or Illinois,
thought it was Michigan, just get out of the pub.
Maybe it was even that.
I think it was that.
And as soon as they hit distribution, they're like, no, it can't be smells like weed. Well, it does. And they're like, nope, can't be that. So they had to change the name of that. So names they're huge. They're absolutely huge. And if you hit that right name, though I'm drinking right now, Founder's Green Zebra. The label on the can is a green effing zebra, man. Like it's really cool looking. And nobody else came up with a name like that. And it's just it's a watermelon goza. Why is it green zebra? Well, if you look at a watermelon, it looks like a round zebra. Brilliant. Good job, guys. You killed it. This man eater, it's a cool name, but nothing on the can. I mean, it's a green label. So as much as a name helps sells the beer, so does the label. Mm-hmm. And we're seeing like Blake's, they're doing a complete rebrand because you walk into a store and you see Blake's next to each other on a shelf, all look the same. So Blake's Cidery, they're like, hey, we're going to fix this. We're going to make each can very different. My company and parent going through the same type of thing, and you're seeing these.
It's funny because there's also a national company called Sam Adams that is doing the exact opposite and wants to make all their packaging look the exact same.
I didn't want to bring that up, but yeah.
I'll bring it up.
I saw some of the new Sam Adams packaging in the store, and I wasn't a fan. I mean, I get what they're trying to do.
Oh, 100%.
But it's not different enough. I mean, you look at your seasonals and your cherry wheat and Boston Lager, the only difference when you're looking at the front is a small strip of color. And if somebody's in a hurry, they're going to grab the wrong beer. They're going to be upset. And they're going to
Boston Lager's red and cherry wheat's, or Boston Lager's maroon, cherry wheat's red. You can't tell that difference for too fast.
Exactly. So, I mean, as much as a name is important when you're coming out with a beer, or when you have an established beer, the label, I think, is even more important. So, one brewery I think that did a great job when they were in their heyday here in Michigan was Latitude 42. Mm-hmm. They had they hired a tattoo artist to make their labels. And he made some killer labels. They were awesome. And you walk through the store, and on one hand, they were really busy, didn't really know what was going on. But on the other hand, you stopped and you looked at it and like, man, that's cool. I don't really know what beer it is, but that's cool. So it stuck out. So it's tough. I mean, here in Michigan, we get a tough job. There's 300-plus breweries fighting for the same shelf space here in Michigan from the sales perspective. And how are these breweries going to stand out in the shelves and get picked up? You have to find both. You can't just stand out. You can't just be there either. You have to stand out and be like, yep, I'm going to grab that because of the artwork. I'm going to grab that because of the label. I'm going to grab it because I know what it is. So it's a fun job to kind of be involved with.
It's really important because you spend all this time in creating good beer, which is obviously very, very important. But the tap handle, the name, the label, that will always sell one beer, no matter what. Someone's going to look at it and be like, Green Zebra, oh, that's a cool name. That's a cool can. I'll buy it once. Will they buy it twice? Well, that's up to your brewer that you're spending all that money on. Did he make a good product and put it out there? So that's my sense. Like, it's very important because it's going to get the person on the edge between two beers to go for the one that he more prefers the name of or the label of. I shouldn't say he, they.
He or she
prefer the label of. And then the liquid will sell the rest. Because at that point, if they fall in love with the liquid, they're going to buy it again. If they don't like the liquid, they're not going to buy it again. But you at least got to get the liquid in their mouths, and you have to do that with marketing.
Yep. So my former job, that's a big thing that I ran into. So I dealt with a lot of bars, and my job. So on premise and with bars here in Michigan, at least, that's where we get the beers to people first. Generally, is you'll have 26 barrels of this beer to sell and get out to your favorite 20 accounts that'll put it on right away. And then the consumers get to try this beer. And the consumers know when they go to their local independent liquor store, or if lucky enough for that brewery, like a Meijer or Kroger, it sort of wraps up and they're like, yep, I know that beer. I'm going to drink that beer. Let's go.
Exactly.
Exactly. Alrighty, so moving on from beer to completely change things here. Some big things happened this past week.
In sports. We're going to talk sports.
We're going to talk sports for the first time in a long time. So, two teams won a championship.
Well, they each won their own championship.
Yes. There was two individual championships that were won this last week. And each of these teams never won a championship before.
It was really cool because they both beat, obviously we're talking about Toronto and St. Louis beating Boston and Golden State. Mind fart right there.
I was going to let you struggle.
I know, I could tell. You've been making me do it for a month.
Man, I'm sorry, dude. Like, it's just, I'm not trying.
Well, I'm ragging on you all day.
That's fine. I expect
anyways,
less.
But they both beat the more superior team people thought of throughout the season. Like, everyone thought Golden State was going to win, hands down. Like, Toronto, they might get to the finals, but they're not going to win. And then Boston was one of the best teams in the NHL. I think it was a top 3 team at the end of the season. St. Louis was in last place on January 3rd. Last place
They
in
had,
the
I think,
NHL.
250 to 1 odds to win at that point.
Someone won $100,000 on it.
I know a few people who won $100,000 on it. I don't know them.
Right,
I know
we heard
of
the
a few
stories.
people.
Right. Last place, January 3rd. They bring in a goalie who hasn't played in the NHL, and he carries them to the Stanley Cup.
Yep.
It's an incredible story.
He's
man.
due for a huge payday. So, we didn't really talk about a whole lot this season. We talked about a lot last season. So, I know you're a huge fan of this as well as NHL playoffs. When they get done with a game, more specifically a series, they will go out to center ice and they will shake hands. No matter who beat whose ass throughout that game, they will go out center ice. They will shake hands and say either "good luck," "thank you," "kick ass next round," whatever they say. Probably a lot more less family friendly terms than that too. But that's awesome. That's one of my most favorite traditions in sports. I know you like that as well. Yeah. So that's always cool to see. But anytime a Boston team goes down in this day and age, heck yeah, man!
Right? They won the World Series in, I think it was technically November, the Super Bowl in February, and they were a win away from the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, so there was that billboard in Boston said 110 days since last championship and the drought or whatever it was said. And
stupid.
It's like, oh man, that's just depressing to hear. So I mean, kudos for Boston for being good at sports and everything, but screw you, Boston. I hope you lose everything.
Like I said, I hate Boston sports. I love the city. I think it's a beautiful city.
It is. It's expensive, but beautiful.
It's a beautiful city, but the sports team can no.
They can know. They can
know. I was about to say something very vulgar and inappropriate. So no, you can
I
know.
Agree. Yeah, you can write the no off.
Yeah. No.
So yeah, it was. I mean, it was a fun series. It really was. It went down in the last game. I mean, it was a riot to watch.
It was. It was good. I like that. I watched most. I think there's only 2 games I missed because they were on NBCSN, which I don't get. But I definitely watched the majority of the games and everything. It was good. That third period of the Game 7, man, it was intense. And when St. Louis got that third goal, you could just kind of see Boston just be like, oh, crap.
Yep.
And they were able to get one more in there. But, dude, when it's 4-1 with under 10 minutes left, you know it's over.
Yep.
It's over.
Momentum's going, adrenaline's going.
Yeah.
I got to say, though, I mean, Chara played with a broken jaw for, 3 games, 4 games? Maybe
I think it was
even
3,
more.
but yeah.
They're
tough, man. Hockey players are another breed.
So
dude.
I was up north with a couple people for work, and game 4, I think the NBA Finals was on TV, and we were watching it because it was on every single TV. It's whatever championship at the bar. So obviously we were rooting for Toronto because Golden State can go take a long walk off a short pier, and Golden State ended up winning that game. And we're sitting there thinking about it. It's like, oh, no, this can be a good series too. Oh wait, they have 2 days off, and then they're gonna go play. That was Tuesday, and then they go play Thursday.
No, they was Friday.
No, it was Friday, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was 2 days off, 2.5 days off essentially, then play again. Why does the NBA need so long between games in the finals?
That's travel. It's a travel day. The NHL does it too, actually.
No, NHL takes 2 days. NBA takes 3.
No, NBA was only 2. They never took 3.
It was Tuesday to Friday.
Yeah, so that's taking Wednesday and Thursday off.
Yeah.
That's 2 days. Wednesday, Thursday.
Okay.
You play Friday. So you played on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Take off Wednesday to travel, Thursday to practice, and you play Friday.
Okay, I get it.
2 days off.
No, NHL didn't take that long.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so.
Yeah, between the last games, there was two days. Look it up.
But also, they're traveling from... They're
Boston
in the same time zone, though.
Yeah, they took 2 days.
Oh, yes, no, yes.
So.
I know, I take that back.
You got the wrong side of the argument.
Yeah. Well, either way, neither of them should take that long.
No, 1 day.
Absolutely.
Like, I get it, but come on, keep this thing wrapped up and going.
Absolutely. So I was watching a very prominent sports thing this morning where they were talking about LeBron James again already. Made me mad. We had this conversation earlier.
Big old Anthony Davis trade.
Yeah, and so
Klay Thompson's down. KD's gone for the season, and he might not even have a contract next year. So now the Lakers are the number one odds-on favorite to win the NBA championship.
I think is KD still on a player?
He's got player option for like 37 mil.
My option would be, I'm going to stay in your roster for a year, get $37 million, and
or he could opt out and someone could give him 48 or something like that.
Yeah, who's going to give him? He just tore his Achilles twice.
Someone will give it to him. Trust me.
No, I would not.
But no, the Lakers now have 5 people under contract and 1 guy with a team option.
Yep, and one of those guys under contract just got drafted.
No, the draft hasn't happened yet.
Oh, last year just got drafted. Yeah. He's a first-year player.
Yeah. A year ago.
Not quite a year ago.
Almost. 50 weeks. Oh, God, man. All right. On to more important topics. As many of you know...
Oh, by the way, congrats to Toronto and St. Louis.
Oh, yes.
That's who we were getting at.
Yeah. Good job. Keep it up. There it goes.
It sounds like a chronic smoker, man.
You probably are. You got to stay away.
I wish I was. That was something to excuse this.
Right. For those that have obviously been listening to us for a long time, you both know Matt and I are both fathers.
We're dads. Happy belated Father's
Day. Yeah,
you
too. Was it good? You celebrated your daughter's 1 year?
We did. We had a birthday party on Father's Day, which was actually kind of cool. I enjoyed it. It's a good time.
I went golfing and beat my dad, and then played
in golf.
Yeah.
Okay.
Played a little golf in the backyard with Jameson. I think he's ready for putt-putt. We actually moved our swing set so there were some holes in the ground, and without even telling him what to do, he started putting the ball in there, like literally hitting it with the golf club into the hole.
Yeah, so you got the next Bryson DeChambeau.
We're going putt-putt, and Dad's looking for a backyard green for Jameson.
That'd been a good Father's Day present.
/ me. Anyways, for those that have paid attention to us and have kind of watched, if you haven't, I'll update you real quick. Obviously, we're both fathers. Something that we've both struggled with is changing our child's diapers when we go out.
I mean, we don't have issues changing. I mean, I have issues sometimes changing the diaper because I have a bad gag
having
reflex,
a place to do it.
Yeah, it's good to not do it like on the table.
As 2 people that frequent bars and restaurants, we would often go out and...
For our jobs, we're not alcoholics.
Well, no, even if it's like you and your wife and Olivia or me, my kids and Mel, like you'd go out and you'd have to go change a diaper, and the only changing table was in the women's restroom.
Yep.
And I thought that was BS because I can change a table just as good, and there are times I take Jameson out by myself, and it's like, hey, let's go get a pizza and beer. Granted, he doesn't drink the beer, I drink the beer. But we go out, get a pizza.
Thanks for the disclaimer.
Right. Just want to make sure. And then if he has to gets a poopy diaper or something, what am I supposed to do? Change him on the table, change him on the bar, take him outside. Well, then it's like, oh, am I bouncing on my check? I don't know. Pampers has heard our call for this. They are having an initiative to install 5,000 changing tables in men's restrooms across the United States and Canada. This got announced, I believe it was late last week, but they are going to be starting in high-need locations, specifically cities in Cincinnati, Dallas, and Detroit, in places like parks, public libraries, high-traffic areas, things like that. So there are 500 or so locations that should have changing tables in them by the end of the summer. I think this is fantastic. This just goes to prove that me going nuts about changing tables in men's restrooms isn't just me. They had John Legend behind this. Like, it's not just some random person or some goofy initiative. I mean, this is Pampers' 5,000 changing tables into men's restrooms. It's not hard to, if you're a business owner, you got one in the women's, just get another one, put in the guys. Like, come on. I'm calling you all out on this right now. Do it. It's the best thing you can do, because when Matt and I come to your place, honestly, I've left restaurants because there has not been a changing table in the men's restroom. Like, I'll go in and be like, all right, I'm going to go change the diaper real fast. Nope, can't do it. All right, see ya, because I got to go to my car anyways. I'm just going to get in my car and go somewhere else. Yep. So
for those of you,
Pampers.
For those of you looking to read this article real quick, I just shared it on their Facebook. It is. It's awesome. It is absolutely astounding. So, as many times as I try to avoid changing my daughter's diaper because I think it's gross, I still have to change her diaper at times and in public. And there's been times where I just sort of like, all right, dude, we're going to lay down the sink right here and we're going to figure this out together. And luckily, it's usually not a dirty diaper, but sometimes it is. So this initiative is great, and I think it's a step in the right direction. And it's not really like, it should be, though. Like, let's start a movement, man.
Well,
Why can't you and I like start a movement?
Let's do it.
I mean, I know that's why this came up and why this exists. But
let's get behind it and keep rolling with it.
Yeah.
I'm game. So in 2016, the Bathrooms Accessible in Every Situation, Babies Act, mandated changing tables in some but not all public bathrooms in a building. However, there's a loophole because you could just put signage to the changing table, which could still be located in the women's bathroom. So that, good idea, bad execution. But yeah, let's do this. Let's get behind this, man. Let's start calling out places that have changing tables in the guys' restrooms, and let's put ourselves on the map.
yeah.
And if you don't,
We're not doing this for self-profit, but if self-profit occurs, I'm okay with that.
hey, man, I just want clicks, baby.
Yeah. I also want baby tables, changing tables.
I do that,
Changing
yeah.
babies. Baby changing.
I think so, too. I think it needs
What
to
are we
happen.
fighting for again?
Changing tables and guys' restrooms. We need to come up with a quick, easy slogan so we can yell it.
Yeah, give me a minute here and I'll come up with it.
We'll work on it. Let's do
Yeah.
our top 6.
I'm super excited for this one.
So last week, I don't know if you listened. You probably didn't.
Me?
Yep.
I listened to bits and pieces multiple times.
Okay. We did camping spots.
Yep.
Which was awesome because Kyle was a legit backpack tent camper, and I have a 24-foot trailer.
And
So-
he's like a, where can I find the best mushrooms camper?
Oh, loves it.
So
This week-
side story about Kyle. I hung out with him for one evening for a beer event. He was saying how his family was getting sick. And I was like, hey, man, hope you don't catch that. He goes, nah, I'm all right. I've been drinking some mushroom teas.
Oh, he
I
was
was-
talking about
I was
those.
like, the hell's a mushroom tea? He goes, nah, just whatever mushrooms I find. You know, certain ones of them have really good qualities to help your immune system and everything. I said, so what do you do? So he's like, basically you like just ground up the mushroom and you just put it in a tea bag and dip it in water. That's going to taste terrible. He goes, oh, it's horrible, but helps me feel better. I don't think I want to drink a mushroom tea. I don't know about you.
No, I don't at all.
You're not a mushroom fan, are you?
I like morels fried up in lots of butter.
Like butter.
Like butter with a side of mushroom. All right, here we go.
All right,
Our top 6 backyard tailgate games.
Number 6.
My first?
Sure. You
All
haven't
right.
been here in a while. You can go first.
All right. So my number 6, I know it's low. It's very low. But I'm going to have to put cornhole on number 6.
Damn, that is low.
I know.
You better have some good ones, dude.
You'll understand.
My number 6, Yahtzee, but with a 4x4x4 block. And you put them in a 5-gallon bucket. And you roll them out there, and you got like a clipboard. People keeping score. Yahtzee. I made
Yep.
it for my mom. It's actually really fun.
So I got my grandpa one year for Christmas got me a set of 5 giant die. I didn't know what to do with them, so that's a good thing to do.
Yahtzee.
All right.
Yahtzee.
Number 5.
So I don't know if you ever played this game before, but there's a couple different variations of it, and this one's my favorite. Washers.
Yes.
But it is the washer game where you have to stand on the board, and there's 3 holes in the board.
Oh, no.
1, 3, and 5 points. And the board's only maybe 1.5 feet wide, so you have to throw it in the holes. And it's the whole, like, you have to get the exact score type of thing, and it makes it a lot more challenging than the whole, like, washer in the cup and washer in the board thing. Like, a lot of people play. I don't know how I learned this game, but I enjoy it.
I think it's pretty common.
Oh,
I feel-
you played it before?
Yeah, I played both versions. I feel like that one though, you can a lot of times find that in the store. I think you can find them both in the store, but I definitely don't think it's weird.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I feel better now.
Okay. My number 5, I put Can Jam. I've only played a handful of times, but the few times I played it, man, it's been a ball. Or should I say jam?
It's been a jam, man.
Jam, man. Can Jam.
Number 4.
It's been a long, long time since I played, but I love croquet.
Oh, that's a good one.
Croquet is a blast. The thing that made me mad is when you didn't get it through one of the hoops, and you go back around and try to get through one of the hoops again. It just drives me crazy, but I love croquet. I don't know. So whenever I played, we just sort of put the hoops in random places. I don't know, like certain maps you're supposed to put it in, but we never did. But yeah, I love croquet.
Oh, I forgot one. Oh, I should have put bocce ball on my list.
Oh, you're spoiling everything.
Gosh. I was going through like games at like my grandma's cottage that they stole when I was probably 10. But it was like lawn darts. But it wasn't the lawn darts you play with now that are basically like beanbags.
No, it was real.
It was like
darts.
a legit spear you're chucking through the air, and like me and my cousin are 7-year-old just throwing them at each other.
Those are illegal.
That was safe. My number 4, right? That's what we're on for. Good old fashioned horseshoes. I just love me a game of horseshoes. I think I get it from my grandpa because he's always down to play horseshoes. He's like 87 and will still kick my ass in some horseshoes.
Number 3.
Horseshoes.
Nice.
Love horseshoes. Pretty good at horseshoes.
I'm not that good. I just like to play.
You're Polish, man. You need to get better at horseshoes.
I don't play that often, though.
I had horseshoe pits in the backyard.
No. My grandpa used to have horseshoe pits in his backyard, or his old house. But
it's a fun game.
Yeah. They're very fun. Polish golf.
Yes.
Ladder ball. Basically the same thing.
That was this close to making my list. For those of you not watching live on Facebook, pull my fingers about an inch and a half apart. It was an inch and a half for making my list.
You know what else is an inch and a half?
Not the water I had in my basement.
I don't. Shayna does.
Oh, I sound like
what number? Or do I hit the number
from Hanna-Barbera?
Do I hit the number 2 button yet?
We
did that. Okay.
No, you didn't. You didn't hit it.
Number 2.
Gotcha.
So my number 2 is bocce ball. I love bocce ball. See, throw a little white ball out there, and you throw a... Oh, Mel is looking to get messed up today. She just took 5 ciders and a bottle of wine upstairs. Is that?
That's actually Damson plum cider from Tandem Ciders.
A what in plum?
Damson. It's a type of plum. A Damson plum.
Okay. Outstanding. So Mel's going to go drink all the cider tonight. So yeah, bocce ball. It's cool. So growing up, we played like across some very like traditionally we play like a little sand pit type of thing. We grew up like I'm sure you did the same way, like throw it across a giant yard. Like,
exactly.
This little white ball as far as I can, but that heavy ball you have to throw it underhand. Make sure you get close to it. You know.
Yep.
No, I love bocce ball.
That's funny. My number 2 is actually washers, and it's the opposite version that you play. It's
the box. With the
yeah. And I think part of that is the portability. Like we literally played it in our apartments. Like in college, we would just set it up in the hallway and throw it back and forth.
Yeah.
Dented up a lot of walls. But my grandpa, again, this goes back to good old Poncho. He's the same way though. That's one of his favorite games. So whenever he's around, if we don't have a horseshoe pit, we're playing washers.
Number 1.
It's a new game. Can Jam. Hands down, my favorite backyard game.
I knew you were going to say that.
I'm really good at throwing a frisbee lately. I love Can Jam. And usually there's like this period between beers where I'm exceptional at that game, but if I have like 1 or 2 more beers, I'm terrible at that game. If I have 1 or 2 less, I'm terrible. Love Can Jam. It's so much fun to play. It's an easy game. It's quick. And anybody can play it. If you can throw a frisbee, you can play Can Jam. So one that didn't make my list because it's borderline a backyard game / water game So I played it in both. I didn't know what the classified is. Beersby. Ever play Beersby?
Yeah, I've never played in the water though.
Oh, and the water is fun because, there's the whole not falling down when you're trying to catch a can of beer thing. So Beersby, when you set the can on top of a
Pole?
basically, yeah, like a pole or a PVC pipe, and you hit it with a Frisbee. A lot trickier, but a ton of fun.
I don't mind it. It's not my favorite game.
Yeah, that's why I didn't make my
But
top
it
6.
yeah.
It was a 7 or 8.
Yeah. My number 1, cornhole bags, whatever you want to call it. Been playing that for years. I think it's my favorite because I believe it's one of Mel's favorites as well. So it's something we can both agree on. And we're actually both really good. So if we're on each other's team, then basically no one wins except us.
So I recently came across professional cornhole. And the professional bags, there's a side of these bags that stick to the board.
Yeah.
And a side that slides on the board.
Apparently, yeah, I heard that too.
It's wild. Like
Yeah.
the guys that do like the whole like flop thing in our experimental leagues, if you want to call that, wouldn't work there because like you have to throw it like almost a Frisbee, so it like either sticks or slides, and depending on what you want to do. Pretty wild.
Pretty wild. All right. Question of the podcast results. I looked this up before you showed up, actually, and I saw the percentages, and I was like, yeah, I'm not counting that. So I thought between Ocean and Lake, it would be. I figured Lake would win, but I did not. I thought Ocean would put up a fight, but being in Michigan, I think we had like 2 votes for Ocean. So it was 99% Lake.
Yeah.
Which
So this might
is
be our
awesome.
most lopsided ever. So I was
Dinner supper. That was pretty lopsided
I think this is more lopsided than that. Because my entire family agreed with me.
too. Right.
So
Go vote, please. Go vote.
So I was up in Traverse City, last Monday, and week from a day. So anyway, I was up there and I was at one of the bars, not being able to talk to the person sitting next to me, so I was doing a lot of listening. And she was from Hawaii, and she flew from Hawaii to California, from California to Chicago, and then drove from Chicago up to Traverse City, Michigan. So once she got to Traverse City, she was feeling like super kind of homesick, she said, and then walked to Lake Michigan, and she's like, oh my God, this is like a huge body of water. Like it's not the ocean, but it's the closest thing I can find in Midwestern United States. Mm-hmm. And like seeing Lake Michigan made her feel in a way at home again because she's just experienced a large body of water again.
That's cool.
Like our lakes up here it's unreal. I mean, we have the most shoreline than any other state in the entire U.S. Except for Alaska. And it's such a cool thing having all these lakes up here. And I knew Lakes was going to win this, but it was still a cool thing to throw out there. I mean, don't get me wrong, like salt life, ocean life at school and everything, you get to catch really cool fish and whatnot, but I'm a lake man.
No, me too. I'm the same way. Like, I'm not a big ocean fan. Someone actually put out a thing. It was like one of the first people that responded was Lauren. She was like, yeah, sharks? Yeah, nope. No sharks in lakes, so I'm going to do lakes.
Yeah, close thing yet is sturgeon. They're not going to eat you.
Right? They might knock you out.
Oh, they will kill you. They won't eat you.
Good to know. Awesome.
Lake.
Subscribe. What?
Lake.
Just
saying lake.
Subscribe, rate, listen. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, give us a review or read it on air.
Especially on a lake.
Especially on a lake.
We're not going to read it on a lake, but I hope you're on a lake.
Give us a shout out. MattandMuse@gmail.com. Facebook, Instagram, MattandMuse.com. We'll be back next week. Matt will be here.
I will be here. Pete Rose belongs in the Hall of Fame. See ya.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Thank God that's over.